relaxed and composed. Do you think that was a result of just kind of his maturity and growth, or do you think he just felt really good about the game plan you guys had, or did you see that?
I mean, I think that kind of goes back to what I said last week. I mean, Jordan is still a first-year starting quarterback. When you take the amount of plays that snaps that he's played in a game, I mean, it's less than a year. So that's a guy, the more games he plays, I better see improvement, because he's becoming a veteran, or more of a veteran than he is. I mean, he's, regardless of his class, you're not a quarterback until you step foot out there and you play snaps in a live setting where they can tackle you, where they can hit you, right? And they want to rip your head off. And one of the best things he did in the football game that's not going to be talked about is the fact that he made all those plays with his legs, but he managed to get down. He managed to not take those hits. And because of that, his body feels better today. Because of that, his body felt better the entire game, right? And even though he was battling through some things, those are the plays in the game that are never going to be talked about, but that's what makes a guy like him take the next step, is combining the fact he understands now I don't have to run people over. I can actually just get down after I get the first down, and combine that with he's a super, super intelligent kid. Like, people don't understand what he does for us, getting us into run game checks, what he does for us in his own pass protection, sending slides certain ways, identifying pressure. When you combine all those things, I mean, he has a chance to be pretty special.
Kurt?
You've been banging the drum all season of all 11 guys doing their job and what this offense can do when it happens. I guess, how much higher or rate did that happen at Saturday? I mean, obviously, what kind of difference did it make?
A lot higher of a rate, and it made a pretty big difference. I mean, that was at the end of the day, that was the difference in this week and other weeks. Our guys just went out there and played, and they executed. And then they made one-on-one plays. I mean, it sounds boring. I wish we could say we had this special scheme this week that was so much different. No, we didn't. We went out, we blocked them. We went out, we caught the football. We went out, we got into good numbers in the run game checks. And we went out, we made plays when our number was called, scored in the red zone. Didn't turn the football over. It's not a special scheme. It's not special plays. Our players this week went out and played the brand of football that we expect them, and the standard of how we want them to play.
Gene, right side.
And I think you guys were 7 out of 10 on third down. Some of those weren't easy ones too that you guys picked up, and it wasn't the case earlier on situationally. You guys seemed to struggle there. What has kind of changed things the last couple of games? You guys are much more efficient as third and fourth down situations.
Well, I think, anytime you can extend plays with your legs, I mean, if you study 3rd and 7 plus in all of college football, over 70% of the conversions on 3rd and 7 plus have nothing to do with scheme. It has to do with somebody scrambling and finding an open receiver. I mean, it doesn't sound like coach talk, because every coach gets up there like we do every week, and we spend 9 hours drawing up this perfect schemed play versus all these looks. And if you get this look, this look, this look, this, slide it this way, slide it that way, right? But at the end of the day, when you get to the long yardage situations, right, 7 out of 10 conversions you're going to have are going to be a player making a play. Whether that's a quarterback scrambling and diving, whether that's a back making a dude miss or with a ball in the flat, right? It's not going to be because you schemed somebody wide open. It's going to be because somebody made a play in those situations. And in those situations, our guys made plays. And that is what we need to do the rest of the year to continue to grow and continue to get better.
Brennan?
Can you talk about the running of Trayshawn Ward, his physicality, the patience he has, and just how much he's grown throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, I mean, that's a kid who he deserves to be where he's at just by his work ethic, how big of a competitor he is. I mean, it doesn't matter what he does. I think I said this earlier in the year. I mean, you could play that dude in like an opening of doors contest, and he would freaking open them doors like crazy. Like, he's just competitive. And I mean, it's a funny story. When he ran out of bounds at the end there, I mean, I was up there saying not so nice things. And then I said the exact same words after he made the next play, just with a completely different context. And I told him that after the game. I said, you went from like my enemy one to like favorite person in a matter of, 2 plays. But that's why, we were take him out. He ran out of bounds, right? Take him out. Bonehead play. We trust that kid. No. You know what that means? He knows he made a mistake. Give him the ball again. And great players like him, players who are special, players who have a chance like that, right? You keep giving those guys the ball. And I was super proud of the way he responded at the end of the game. I mean, that's the sign of winning football, was that last play by him.
Chris?
The offensive line lined up 41 times in the running game and won the line of scrimmage, also gave Jordan a chance. Just what does it say for that much maligned group that they went out there and won constantly on Saturday and battled through it?
It was awesome. I mean, getting Mo back is obviously is huge for us, and that's a guy who's battling. I mean, those guys are banged up. I mean, those guys, they need this week probably more than any position group on our team potentially. And they were banged up and they fought, and we talk about it a lot, but not taking negatives. You know, when you go into a game, you know, when you watch, are we going to be able to run the football? It's not how many yards per carry does this team allow. It's not how many yards per game this team's allowing. It's how many TFLs is this team going to create in the running game? Because if you feel like you can run the football with your 5 up front and not get the TFLs, it means every time you call a run, it's going to be at least 2nd and 10. And you can survive, and you can win a lot of football games at 2nd and 10, right? So going into this week, I challenged those guys. I walked in the room and I said, you know, if we get 14 possessions in this game, we're going to run the ball for 300 yards. I said, that's going to happen. We should run the ball for 300 yards this week with 14 possessions. Now, we ended up only getting 8 possessions, so obviously we didn't hit that number. But from a yards per play perspective on the ground, those guys did, honestly, what I felt like they could do this week. And they did a great job. And just super happy for how that group is battling through all their little injuries.
Right side, Ira.
Another group that maybe has fought through some adversity, but has come through with some big plays this week and then last week, is the receivers. How, I guess, gratifying as a coach to see, Malik finally get a touchdown, Keyshawn make that play on the sideline, those types of things from those guys.
Yeah, we had no drops. We had guys fighting. And I think that's the first game probably since we've been here that we just caught every ball, right? Which is awesome. Not only did we do that, our detail was on point. We said when we motioned the stacks, we wanted to do it quick. We wanted to square up. We wanted to be a yard by one outside the guy we motioned to make them communicate quickly. And guess what? You turn on the film, they squared up. We were 1 by 1. We made them communicate quickly. And those are the things that create winning football. Is you want to know how to get people open, right? You time things out. You create stacks. You create bunches, right? And those guys really bought in to the timing and the splits and the relationship they have to be to other wide receivers, right? And combine that with then when their number was called, they made a play because Keyshawn helped us play on the sideline, right? That's no special scheme. That's Keyshawn and Jordan making a play. That's no line protecting them, right? That was not drawn up on Wednesday, 3rd down day. That was our guys going out there and making a play on a critical 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 12, whatever that situation was. And that group, I've said it way back when, that group has battled and battled and battled, and the results haven't been what they've wanted to. And I think this was the first week that, they kind of reaped what they've been sowing, and it's awesome to see.
Gene?
Kenny, was this Jordan's best game in terms of making the correct reads, the right decisions? And then does it seem to me the game seems to be slowing down a little bit for him in terms of that? Is that maybe because he's missed so much time with injuries and stuff that now he's had more ability to go out there? He's able to, like I said, the game slows down for him then.
Yeah, I think this was his best game. Y'all know I'm a big believer in Jordan Travis, but I'm also not going to say he's anywhere close to where I think he can be. I think the kid can get dramatically better. I think he needs to start games better. He needs to slow his mind down a little bit because when he gets in a rhythm, he can be special. It kind of goes back to the question earlier in terms of he hasn't played much football. He hasn't played much live football. So every game he better get better. And that doesn't mean every game is going to be, next week it's 13 for 13. Like that's not realistic, right? It just means every game you should see something you didn't see in the prior week. You should see a little bit more of a calmness. You should see a little bit, this last week 2 weeks ago, we had the clock running down and there was some panic with emotion. This week, at the end of the game, he wound the clock down to 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second, and there was pure poise. And those are the things that when you get reps and you play live football that show if you can play the position at a high level. And like I said earlier, he doesn't get enough credit for his intelligence in getting us into the right plays, getting us into protections. And I'm lucky to be able to coach him. I'm excited to see how much better he can get, because there's a lot of room for growth.
Brendan up front.
Sorry again, missing the wait.
It's okay.
Keeping on that theme, Kenny, Jordan just smiling a lot during the game, seems like he's having fun. What kind of impact does that have on you as a play caller, on teammates around him when you see he's just enjoying himself?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I never get to see him smile and all that on the sideline because I'm in the box. I get to hear everybody being like, "Oh, Jordan's out there smiling," and I guess that's cool. But I mean, there's no greater joy than to see your players who have worked so hard to get. I mean, I say all the time. I mean, I say that, people in the profession, we get paid to score points. We get paid to try to win. But if you don't coach to see the look on your guys' faces when they have success, then you've got major issues, and you shouldn't be coaching. And I was back, we had off yesterday as a staff, and I just laid in bed with the wife. We just watched the game, and to watch him smile and just joke around and play with that passion and energy. You can see it when the last play with Ward, and he's in the back, and you can feel his passion for when we got the first down and knew the game was over. I mean, that's awesome to see. There's not much things better than that.
Right side, Kurt.
Kind of along those lines, I think we heard y'all. I think you and the coaches up the box as you're heading down to the elevators at the end of that game, the excitement from y'all. I mean, everybody talks about the players and obviously their excitement, but for y'all coaches, that the work that they've put in, the frustration over the result not matching. I guess, what can you say about just the excitement about seeing that performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's not about us. It's about them. Like seeing the guys work and work and work and work and believe and believe and believe and believe, and then it clicked. And that doesn't mean we're not even close to where we should be. Let's just be honest. Like, we're not to where we want to be, right? But we're getting better. And to see our guys have success because we put one game together where everything was clicking, most things were clicking, and like I said, to see the guys' faces, that's what excites me, is to see their joy. There's nothing better than kids understanding that you can work hard and succeed, achieve success, regardless of what everybody says around you. Because that's what last week was. It doesn't matter what everybody else says, we believe, right, and we're gonna go prove it.
Ira.
On that note, going on the road and executing offensively, just how big of a step is that for this team? Because that has not been the case in the last few years.
No, that has not been the case. We have meetings on offense, and Thursday or Friday, I went into the offense and I said, well, we've been absolutely atrocious on the road. So what are we gonna do to change it? That's the facts. I said, 17-point dogs, why? We deserve it. I think we've lost games on the road by like 50. I don't know, too many, right? So what are we gonna do to change it? Is it gonna be you going to somebody's room at night in the hotel room and watching tape? Is it gonna be on the plane ride, you looking at your tips and alert for 15 extra minutes? I don't know what it is, right? I don't have a secret sauce that says play better on the road. There's not a secret sauce. It's about the work. So what are you gonna do from now until game day, the next 36 hours, that is different than you've ever done on the road? And to be honest, that speech probably had no bearing. Our dudes just prepared really well, right? But it just sounds good, to say. But because we had to fix the problem. And our guys did respond really well, and they went out there, and like I said, they deserve to have their moment right there, and they deserve many more moments, but they got to keep putting in the work to have those.
Left side, Jerry.
You said you're not where you want to be right now with the team. What is the next step? What is it that you hope to accomplish this week and against the next opponent to get a step closer to where you want to be?
I think there were some opportunities to be more explosive offensively, to be more explosive than we were. I thought we actually missed some runs that could have been explosive. We missed some runs with our tracks. I thought we missed some perimeter throws when we got on the edge that could have been explosive plays to LT there in the second quarter. And then for us, it's just keep working. That's it. Where we want to be, we're not where we want to be because we're 2 days removed from the last time we took the field. So we should be better the next time we take the field because we should be able to watch the film, we should be able to learn, or we should be able to learn from the film, and we should be able to get better. So when I say we're not where we want to be, we're never where we want to be. We always want to be better. And there's always some place to improve and to get better. And if our guys just keep working, they're going to keep improving. And it's simple, but that's the only way to get better, is to work.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Kenny.